Detroit Scope, if you have not smashed that subscribe button yet, today is the day because we are officially closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and we cannot get there without you. Quick shout out before we get into it. Thank you to every single one of our 100 subscribers so far. You are the real ones, and we see you. Now let's get into some Lions camp news that had grown men getting emotional at the podium. Picture this. You're a Pro Bowl tight end. You're 25 years old. Your career is on an absolute rocket ship trajectory. And then, out of nowhere, week 10 last season in Washington, everything comes crashing down. A herniated disc, back surgery, and the kind of injury that doesn't just threaten your season. It threatens your career, and honestly, it messes with your head in ways that fans never see on Sundays. That is exactly what happened to Sam LaPorta. And on day one of Detroit Lions training camp, he stood in front of the cameras and told the story of just how dark that road actually got. Here's the part that should stop you in your tracks. LaPorta admitted that hearing the words back surgery made him uneasy right from the jump. And honestly, who wouldn't feel that? But it's what came after the surgery that turned this into a genuine survival story. This wasn't a torn muscle or a sprained ankle. This was a nerve injury. And if you've never dealt with one, you have no idea how cruel that specific kind of injury can be. LaPorta described sitting there night after night, waiting for nerve strength to come back into his leg, being told by doctors that it might not come back at all. Let that sink in for a second. A professional athlete, in the prime of his career, being told there's a real chance the strength in his own leg simply never returns. He didn't hide from the emotional toll either. LaPorta said it flat out sucked sitting on the couch, unable to do the thing he's built his entire life around. And in one of the most human moments of the whole presser, he talked about his wife getting, in his words, the short end of the stick through this whole process, because every single night he'd be telling her how much he hoped he would get his nerve strength back and get the chance to play football again. Meanwhile, she's the one trying to hold it together, telling him the doctors say he's going to be fine. The training staff says he's going to come back great. That is the quiet, unglamorous side of a sports injury that never makes the highlight reels, but it's the realest part of the whole story. So here's how the comeback actually played out, because it wasn't some overnight miracle. It was a grind, phase by phase. LaPorta started rehab just 5 weeks after surgery, working with the Lions director of player health and performance, and the nerve strength trickled back in stages. First the glute, then the hamstring, then finally the calf. He said it was only about 2 to 3 months ago that the full strength genuinely came back, and you could actually watch the muscle atrophy start to reverse and the strength rebuild in real time. By the time training camp rolled around, he had 3 or 4 solid months of running, cutting, and sprinting already banked. And on day one, in front of the Detroit media, Sam LaPorta was full go. Full participation. No restrictions. The guy who wasn't sure he'd ever feel normal again was out there cutting and moving like the injury never happened. And look, if that story alone doesn't get you fired up for this season, I don't know what will. But Detroit Scope, before we move on, I need you to do us a favor. Hit that like button right now. If LaPorta's comeback got you a little emotional, drop a comment telling us what you think this means for the Lions offense in 2026. And if you're not subscribed yet, seriously, help us hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. Every single sub matters to us right now. Now, LaPorta wasn't the only major storyline swirling around Allen Park on day one, because this camp opened with a genuine gut punch off the field. Just before camp started, the Lions made the difficult call to release cornerback Terrion Arnold, a former first-round pick, amid serious legal trouble. It is not a fun storyline to cover, and it clearly is not a fun storyline for anyone inside that building either. Head coach Dan Campbell addressed the team about it the night before practice even started, and when reporters asked him about it afterward, he did not dodge the question. He called it unfortunate. He said you never want to let go of a player, especially somebody the organization drafted and has been around for a while, but ultimately it was the move the team felt was best for them going forward. And it wasn't just the coaching staff processing this. Veteran defensive back Rock Ya-Sin spoke about Arnold with real heaviness in his voice, saying that from what he knows of the guy, Arnold is a genuinely good dude, a young guy he has a lot of love and respect for, someone going through a hard time right now. Ya-Sin made it clear he didn't know the specifics of the situation, but he made one thing crystal clear. This is a locker room that is going to miss having Arnold around, personally and as a teammate. It's a heavy subplot hanging over a Lions secondary that now has to figure out its cornerback rotation without one of its most talented young pieces. And you can bet this storyline is going to keep evolving as camp rolls on. Speaking of that competition for opportunity, let's pivot to the linebacker room, because there's a fascinating transformation happening there too. One veteran linebacker, who has been open about learning under his mentor and close friend of the position, is stepping into a dramatically bigger role this season. The kind of role that could see him on the field for close to 100% of Detroit's defensive snaps. He talked about the challenge of shifting from one position spot in the linebacker core to another, comparing it to going from role player to full-time centerpiece, and admitted it hasn't been easy, but it's not foreign to him either because he's been earning his spot since the day he walked into the building. He made a point of saying he's treating this camp exactly like he did back when he was fighting just to make the roster, because in this locker room, according to him, there are no guaranteed starters. Every single day is a tryout, whether you're a 10-year veteran or an undrafted rookie trying to crack the 53. And that hunger is showing up everywhere, not just on defense. Even a rookie offensive lineman getting his first real taste of NFL training camp talked about the weight of stepping into a room that has faced heavy scrutiny after last year's injuries and inconsistencies up front. He talked about the closeness of that O-line room, saying there isn't a single guy in there he wouldn't hang out with outside the building, crediting the offensive line coach for getting everyone to see the game the exact same way. He even shared a funny nugget from a veteran teammate who told him that fixing mistakes in this league is like playing whack-a-mole. Every time you fix one issue, another one pops up somewhere else, and you just keep whacking away at it every single day until one day you look up and realize you become a completely different player. It's a grind mentality that seems to be baked into every single position group in Allen Park right now. So let's zoom out for a second, because there's a real thread connecting every single one of these stories. A tight end who fought back from a nerve injury that had him questioning his entire career. A linebacker room absorbing a bigger workload and rewriting roles on the fly. An offensive line trying to erase last year's reputation one rep at a time. And a locker room quietly grieving the loss of a talented young teammate under difficult circumstances, while still finding the discipline to focus on the job ahead. This is a Lions team that is clearly not interested in talking about what happened last season. They want to be judged by what happens next. And based on everything coming out of day one of camp, they are absolutely starving to get back to who they were before that 9-8 disappointment. Detroit Scope family, this is exactly the kind of season-long storyline we live for, and we're going to be tracking every single twist as training camp rolls forward. Every injury update, every position battle, every surprising name that pops onto the depth chart. But we need your help to keep this channel growing so we can keep bringing you this coverage every single day. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you watching right now can be the reason we get there. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like on this video if you want more daily Lions training camp breakdowns. And leave us a comment telling us who you think steps up the most this camp, LaPorta, the linebacker core, or somebody we haven't even talked about yet. We read every single comment, and we want to hear from you. Thank you again to our first 100 subscribers for riding with us from the beginning. This channel is building something real, and Detroit Scope is only getting started. We will see you in the next one with more Lions training camp coverage. Until then, stay locked in, Motor City.